Hello, guys and girls. It's I, Aaron Lee here, or Aaron Halo 18, and I'm doing Halo 5 Guardians discussion series, episode 10, I believe. And I'm gonna talk about the blue team and fire team Orias from Halo. And the members of blue team are John 117, Linda 058, Kelly 087, and Frederick 104. That's blue team. And fire team Orias is Edward Buck, Holly Tanka, and Olympia Vale, and Jameson Locke. Those are the teams of blue team and fire team Orias. I don't know anything much about them. I don't know if there's two different campaigns for each team or not. I guess you can switch between blue team and fire team Orias in between the campaign. So, like, some levels are with blue team and other levels are with fire team Orias, I believe, and I'm a huge Halo fan. And blue team and Master Chief are from the Spartan 2 program of the Halo universe. That is. And I haven't done, and I want to continue doing these discussion videos for you guys and girls. And please check out my, thank you for subscribing. It's now 1,000 subscribers. And I guess Olympia Vale's a new character. Olympia Vale, SN, is a human post-war political liaison affiliated with the Office of Naval Intelligence. Homeworld Lieutenant. Date of birth January 20th, 2536. And gender is female. Height is 205.7 centimeters, 6 feet, 75 inches, with our armor. Weight 101.6 kilograms, 224 pounds. Chronological and political information. Affiliation UNSC, Navy, Office of Naval Intelligence, Spartan. Service number 482 91201 OV. Errors post-war. Biography. Olympia Vale was 11 years old when her parents divorced. Her mother, an officer in Naval Signals Intelligence, was promoted to captain and subsequently reassigned to UNSC High Command on Earth. On the trip to Earth, Olympia and her mother found themselves taking a 6-month trip back to Earth instead of the regular 6 days when their ship's subspace drive broke down during those 6 months. Olympia taught herself to understand the Singhili language. Upon graduating from Sydney University, Vale joined the Office of Naval Intelligence, working in signal intelligence like her mother. She soon began to work as an ONI special liaison with the United Earth Government's negotiations with the Arbiter. Vale was present during the expedition to Installation 00 and was the second person to ever visit 30 Tragic Solitude and managed to survive Frank Kodaki's brother Bobby. In 2558, Vale was assigned to the Spartan 4 Fireteam Orias, led by Jameson Locke. They were given orders by Oni to retrieve or neutralize the AOL Spartan 2 Blue Team. But Vale is from Fireteam Orias. Holly Tanka is a Spartan 4 in the United Nations Space Command. Homeworld Midab. Gender female. Hair color black. Eye color brown. Equipment Mollinger powered assault armor. Gen 2. Modjourner / technician. Chronological and political information. Affiliation UNSC. UNSC Army formerly. Spartan Fireteam Orias. Ranks Sergeant formerly. Errors Human Covenant War post war. Her biography. Taneka was born on the colony of Midab in 2550. Midab would be destroyed by the Covenant. Only 10 survivors working in a mine on the other side of the planet, including Taneka and her father, managed to stay hidden for a year through her mother was in the capital of Kannur at the time of the glassing. Unfortunately, the group hit tensions when one member went insane, dividing them between keeping the maniac restrained or executed. The day after the argument, someone had freed the maniac who led a horde of Kigyar to the mine. Tanaka, along with 2 other men who later reveal themselves to be insurgentists, managed to survive the attack. Tanaka would later accuse the 2 men of freeing the maniac, who refute that it was her father who done so to avoid public execution that would have weakened morale. The insurgentists then taught Tanaka guerrilla tactics, enabling them to obtain weapons from a group of Kigyar. Though Tanaka wanted to go back to the mine to find survivors, she was talked out of it. Thus, she remained with her companions as they survived for a few more years before being rescued. Tanaka would then go on to serve in the UNSC Army after the Human Covenant War, being a non-commissioned officer serving in the 412th Engineer Command in 2556. Tanaka joined the crew of the UNSC Casada to rescue survivors of the planet Chill from Covenant fringe groups. She accompanied two ODSTs down to the surface and managed to rescue the survivors before the Kigyar could execute them. Afterwards, Captain French recommended her to the Spartan 4 program, in which she was accepted and received the augmentation and training. Tanaka would later be recruited to Fireteam Orias with her CO Jameson Locke and teammates Edward Buck and Olympia Vale to find and retrieve the AOL John 117 and his blue team. As part of his hunt, Orias would travel to Sahelis to fight the Covenant Remnant and Prometheans in the Battle of Sion. That's it for that character. Olympia and Vale, Holly are new characters to the Halo universe, I guess. There's probably a bunch of information on John 117 and Linda and Kelly and Frederick. I guess there's a lot of information on her. A Petty Officer, 2nd Class, Linda 058, born Linda Peverdent, is a Spartan 2 super soldier. She is one of the few known surviving Spartans. She is best known for her skill with the SRS-99-S2 sniper rifle systems, and once eliminated 2 targets so quickly that even John 117 couldn't tell who she had targeted first. In the field, she also has a very close working relationship with Joshua 029, Kelly 087, Frederick 104, and John 117, and formed the combat subunit Blue Team. Decades later, Linda regrouped with Fred, Kelly, and John, allowing them to reform Blue Team under John's leadership. Linda Peverdent. Biographical information. Spartan tag 058. Homeworld variant. Birth date March 19, 2511. Current status active. Voiced by Andrea Bogart. Physical information. Gender female. Height 213 centimeters, 7 feet, 7.0 feet. Mass 242 pounds, 110 kilograms. Hair color, red. Eye color, green. Affiliation and military information. Affiliation, UNSC Navy. Rank, Petty Officer, 2nd Class. Specialty, Sharpshooter. Battles. Battles of Jericho 7, A Fall of Reach. Battle of Sigma Octavius 4. Operation First Strike, and more. Class 1, 25. Biography, childhood. Linda Paverdin was born on the outer colony world of Variant in March 1925-11. Prior to her conscription into the Spartan 2 program, Linda oversaw an intelligence network among her classmates, which she used to spy on her teachers. In 2517, at age 6, she was singled out as a physically and intellectually superior child by Dr. Catherine Halsey. She was then abducted, replaced with a flash clone, and sent to the Spartan training facility on Reach. Linda then trained there with the Spartans under the guidance of Franklin Mendez and Deja. She took part in training missions at Military Reservation 01478 B, the Military Wilderness Training Preserve, and several missions in the Highland Mountains. Early career. Linda adapted successfully to her augmentations in 25 and recovered quickly enough that she was chosen for the Spartan 2's first mission to Inuris 2. At this point, the Spartans did not have their later trademark Moderner Mark IV armor. She, along with John 117, Frederick 104, Sam 034, and Kelly 087, boarded the Layden and traveled to Indernus Secundus, where they infiltrated the facility and captured Colonel Robert Waits. Then their leader of the Indernus rebels. She was present at Jericho 7 and 2535, though never specifically mentioned by name. It was thought that she was designated Blue 2 and was by John's side during the mission, when in actuality Kelly was designated Blue 2. She also fought the Battle of Sigma Octavius 4. She was designated as Green 1, leading a team of Spartan 2s into the suburbs around Coda d'Azur. Her team scouted out the residential section of the city and found no survivors. Green team helped escort the 20 civilian survivors. That red team, led by Joshua 029, had found and was able to successfully evacuate them before blue team detonated a Havoc nuclear warhead in the heart of the city, destroying tens of thousands of Covenant forces stationed there. Linda and her team then dusted off in a Pelican, which docked with the UNSC Leviathan, and returned to Reach for debriefing. Fall of Reach. Main article. Fall of Reach. Linda was aboard the Pillar of Autumn for a short time until the Fall of Reach. She was designated as Blue 2, part of John 117's team, to reach Station Gamma to destroy the unsecured nav database of Ani's UNSC circumference. During that mission, James was out of commission and presumed KIA, killed in action. So she and John were forced to enter the station, which was filled with Singhili and Kigar Rangers. She found the bay and assisted Staff Sergeant Johnson's squad in holding off the Covenant forces long enough to escape. However, as they jumped out of their Pelican to open the bay doors, she was hit by several overcharged bolts from plasma pistols and plasma rifles, which penetrated her armor and flesh all the way to the carbonized bone. One of the globules of plasma hit her in the back of the skull. Linda was recovered by John, but her vitals flatlined and she was presumed dead. And they show a picture of Linda, and below the picture says Linda 058 leaving the rest of the Spartan 2s for augmentation. And the next picture shows her 058 Spartan armor. So below the picture, Linda 058 and Moderna Mark 5. Installation 04. Main article, Battle of Installation 04. John 117, disheartened over the death of his close teammate, took her to the Cairo facilities where they immediately froze Linda's body in a Cairo chamber. The Pillar of Autumn then jumped to Installation 04 as the ship was shot down by Covenant forces. Most of the Cairo chamber, including Linda's, were ejected as per standard UNSC procedure. She floated above the halo for several days until after the destruction of the installation. Linda was then detected by Cortana and John, who were in a long sword fighter. They picked her and two other chiropods up, but both of the other occupants had died when their chambers failed. Linda was the only Spartan 2, other than John 117, who was near Installation 04 during the events of Halo Combat Evolved. When John 117, Avery Johnson, Corporal Locklear, Lieutenant Armisen, and PO2 Sheila Pulaski captured the Covenant carrier, Ascended Justice. Linda, still in her Cairo chamber, was brought aboard. Due to the extent of her injuries, she was left frozen until certified medical staff was available. She stayed on the Ascended Justice until Dr. Halsey was rescued from Reach along with Frederick 104 and the survivors of his team. Dr. Halsey revived Linda aboard the UNSC Gettysburg. Dr. Halsey ended up performing surgery on Linda, transplanting to her newly flash-cloned kidneys and liver, which needed to be replaced due to her injuries. The operation was successful, and Linda survived. Dr. Halsey said it would be at least a week before she should even get out of bed. However, Linda disregarded this due to the imminent threat to Earth and seemed to recover at least enough to go on a mission within a few days. Operation First Strike. Main article, Operation First Strike. Linda was then geared up and made ready for battle, but did not exhibit her exceptional skills until Operation First Strike. Linda was one of the Spartan 2s who infiltrated the unyielding Hierophant, providing cover for John 117, Fred 104, William 043, and Grace 093 with a sniper rifle. She made sure they made it to the vessel's fusion reactors and allowed them to overload the reactors. As John, Will, and Fred evacuated, Linda, with some of her best and potent shooting skills, managed to shoot elite pilots right out of their airborne Banshee flyers, one-handed and hanging upside down from a cable. She refused to give up her position to make sure her 3 comrades got out alive, even at the expense of her own life, until John ordered her to let him rescue her over the comm. She then sent the Spartan derived Oli oxen free over the comm and uploaded a nav marker with her location to John's HUD. It turns out that she was actually hiding in broad daylight, but angled so that the sun would not reflect off of her suit, thus providing an undetectable cover from which she eliminated the Banshees. She then retreated in John's Banshee to the Gettysburg, upon which she returned to Earth. The Battle of Earth. Main article, Battle of Earth. Following her return to Earth, Linda, as well as Fred and Will, were called upon to perform a number of operations during the Battle of Earth. Up until November 3rd, 2552, these operations included numerous operations across the Earth, such as stopping a Covenant invasion on Mount Everest in Antarctica with a Havoc tactical nuke, and destroying Covenant forces on the seafloor off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Following these operations, they were deployed to the Centennial Orbital Elevator, also known as Talio Nogueiro del Mez, in Havana, Cuba, to stop Covenant forces that had gathered there. Linda, along with the other Spartans, stopped the Covenant forces that had captured multiple nuclear warheads. The Spartans ascended the orbital elevator, destroyed one of the Covenant destroyers at the top, and captured another one, the Bloodied Spirit. Onyx. Main article, Battle of Onyx. To absent friends, Linda, thinking of her fellow Spartans aboard the Bloodied Spirits. Die? Die?
Yeah.
Can you push it, please?
Sure.
Using the Bloodied Spirit, Linda and the other Spartan twos traveled to the planet Onyx at the request of Dr. Catherine Halsey. That was my dad pushing me, guys and girls. And, I gotta continue reading this. Don't leave the fan on. At the request of Dr. Catherine Halsey, Linda arrived with Fred and Will in a crash landing on the surface. There, she met Kelly, Dr. Halsey, Lieutenant Commander Kurt Ambrose, a Spartan she had thought dead for 21 years, and many Spartan 3s, most notably Holly, Ash, and Dante. There they were assaulted by multiple Onyx Sentinels. The Sentinels attacked in groups of 3, one watching and reporting Spartan tactics to the other Sentinels at 3,000 meters in the air, and the other 2 attacking at close range. Linda was able to shoot the Overwatch Sentinel out of the sky with aid from 2 Spartan's rocket launchers. The Spartans then used one of Bloodied Spirit's dropships to reach a massive underground Forerunner city of Onyx. Upon arrival, they were teleported to a Sentinel factory, which they successfully destroyed. Returning to the city, they found Spartan 3 group team Katana, or group team Spartan 3 group team Katana, who were trapped in what Dr. Halsey called an unshielded slip space field, which rendered them immune to all damage. As such, the Spartans were unable to resuscitate them and fled to a control room, taking Katana with them. At this time, a Covenant army arrived on Onyx under command of Fleet Master Vuro Nar Kree. They assaulted the small group of Spartan 2s and Spartan 3s. Linda was able to kill many elites and grunts, but they were overwhelmed. Holly was vaporized by a group of hunters. Will was killed by a fuel rod blast from another hunter, and Dante was already dead from a plasma bolt to his left side, and half a dozen needler shards under his arm and across his chest. Kurt 051 was almost cut in half by a hunter's shield, and he ordered a retreat into the compressed space rift. Linda's final act during that battle was to shoot two elites out of their banshees before retreating through. Linda was then trapped with the other Spartans in the micro Dyson sphere contained within the heart of Onyx shield world. Once sealed inside the micro Dyson sphere, the Spartans began searching for a means of escape. Another problem arose after Lucy B091 entered a second compressed space rift and seemingly vanished. The Spartans then split their attention between fighting an escape route and freeing Lucy. Shortly after Lucy reappeared, the engineer prone to drift allowed them to make contact with Admiral Margaret Perangoski. After careful preparation, the shield world expanded into normal space, allowing Linda, the other Spartans, Dr. Halsey, and Mendez to be rescued by the UNSC Port Stanley. Personality. Linda is unmistakably for her remarkable abilities with the sniper rifle. John and Fred have noted on several occasions that she makes sniping seem almost like an art. While she is sniping, she doesn't require a spotter. She is known even for taking out banshees with one shot by sniping the pilot through the tiny slit between the canopy and the lower portion of the vehicle. She is notably the quickest and quietest member of Blue Team, excluding John, and is labeled as a lone wolf Spartan. Linda is unshakable and persistent, demonstrating time after time again that her abilities with a sniper rifle are far greater than those of any other Spartan in known combat. She is very pale, with blood red hair and dark emerald green eyes. She is also a practitioner of Zen. She, like every Spartan 2, was trained by Chief Mendez on the planet Reach. John once described her as the strongest Spartan, as she does not rely on other members of her squad for advocating support on or off the battlefield. Trivia. John 117 once mentioned that if any one of the Spartans could be called a lone wolf, it was Linda. He felt that this was one of the many ways that made her the strongest of the Spartans. Number 2. In Halo: The Fall of Reach, Linda equipped her sniper rifle with flash and sound suppressors and often switched configurations to best suit mission parameters. Number 3. Linda is one of the name options for customized loadouts in Halo Reach. Number 4. In the Halo: The Fall of Reach audiobook, Linda was given a Southern American accent. Number 5. In Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, after you talk with Captain Keyes on the Pillar of Autumn, you can go into the Cairo control room and see Linda's Cairo tube vitals on the screen next to John 117's. Number 6. Linda appears in the Halo 4 trailer scanned at 0:55 as she is lining up for augmentations. You can hear 058 followed by Linda entering through the door. And the last one, number 7. In the Halo 4 mission shutdown, one of the Spartan 4's mentions spawning for a Spartan 2 on an operation in 2539. He remembers the tag 058, then claims she was an absolute beast with the sniper. And I guess that's it for Linda, yeah. The other one is Kelly and Frederick. I don't know how much there's probably a lot. There's a lot for this girl. Character. I'm still here, guys and girls. Trivia. Kelly is one of the name options for customized loadouts in Halo Reach. In the Halo 4 mission shutdown, one of the Spartan 4's missions, Kelly brought her Spartan tag, saying, "I wish 087 were here. Could have really used her speed back there." In Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, Kelly has several scars run across her nose, 2 on her forehead, and 1 across her left cheek. In Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, Kelly and Fred are seen wearing the Mojana Power Assault Armor / Mark 5B Mark 5 variant. However, the Mark V did not enter production until 2551, 25 years after the events of Forward Unto Dawn. In Halo Escalation Issue 8, the page that introduced that blue team unanimously labels Kelly's role as Sniper and Linda's as Scout. This is the contrary to the team dynamic presented in Halo media, as Kelly typically acts as a Scout due to her ability as the fastest Spartan 2. Conversely, Linda is most often portrayed as the most skilled with sniper rifles. Kelly is the fastest Spartan. Kurt 051. Petty Officer 2nd Class Kelly 087. Board Kelly Shaddock is one of the few remaining Spartan 2 super soldiers. She is well known due to close friendships with Joshua 029, Samuel 034, Linda 058, Frederick 104, and John 117. She was temporarily missing, but was later reunited with the remaining Spartan 2s, excluding John 117. On Onyx, she, along with the other surviving Spartan 2s and several Spartan 3s, were trapped in a micro-Dyson sphere, but were able to exit the sphere and link up with UNSC Ani ships, UNSC Gail Morgan, UNSC Port Stanley, and UNSC Billy Isle. She is one of John's closest friends, is renowned for her incredible speed, even without her Wajoner armor. My 2558. My 2558. She engaged in 201 operations, 124 campaigns. Spartan Tag 0087. Homeworld Ember. Birth date September 21st, 2510. Voiced by Jenna Burban. Halo 4 FUD. Michelle Lukes, Halo 5. Gender, female. Height, 211 centimeters, 6 feet and 11 inches. In armor. Mass, 112 kilograms, 250 pounds. Hair color, brown, dyed blue, and 2517. Red as depicted in Halo Legends. Eye color, blue. Cybernetics, Spartan neural interface. Affiliation, Unified Earth Government. UNSC, UNS Navy. Rank, Petty Officer, 2nd class. Specialty, reconnaissance / heavy weapons. Reconnaissance / heavy weapons. Battles, Human Covenant War. Battles of Circadius 4. Battle of Jericho 7. Raid on the 3rd Fleet of Glorious Consequence. Battle of Sigma Octanus 4. Fallen Reach. Battle of Onyx. Many other battles. Class 1, 25. Personality and description. Kelly is notoriously fast, even by Spartan standards, easily making her the fastest human to ever live. She is the fastest of all the other Spartans capable of running at bursts of up to 62 kph, 38.502 miles per hour. It has quicker reflexes than all other Spartans, and is even capable of accomplishing normal tasks quickly and more precisely than her fellow Spartans. Before missions, she had to slow herself down considerably to spare with other Spartans. She has demonstrated an incredible tolerance for pain, and she has been injured quite gravely on several occasions and managed to recover fully each time. When she was younger, Kelly had her hair dyed blue and was taller than John. He eventually outgrew her, and her hair color returned to its natural brown color. Kelly has a cynical sense of humor and often cracks jokes over her and her team's situation and mission. Her speed has led her to being termed the team's rabbit, acting as quick to bait to draw enemies into traps led by the other Spartans. Biography. Early childhood. Kelly 0887 was born on September 21st, 2511, on the inner colony world of Ember. Kelly 087 was conscripted into the Spartan 2 program at the age of 6 in 2517, when she was singled out as a physical and intellectually superior child by Dr. Catherine Halsey. During her abduction, she eluded Retrieval Team Gamma for 6 hours, but eventually came forward when she thought the abduction was a game for her birthday. After her abduction, she was replaced with a Flash clone. She was then sent to Reach to begin her training. Spartan 2 program. On her first day of Spartan training, Kelly was teamed up with John 117 and Sam 034 during a drill at Military Reservation 01478B. Their team did poorly because of the lack of teamwork and finished in last place. They were not allowed to eat that night. The next day, Kelly showed her true speed by running for a pulley lift, which she reached twice as quickly as John and Sam. They did not come first, but they did come in third. This was just the first of many times that her speed would be a key factor in strategies. The three of them became close friends that day when the Spartans' heads were being shaved. Kelly disarmed the Master Sergeant Barber of his clippers before 3 other attendants were able to pin her down and shave her head. Kelly participated in numerous missions with the Spartans from 2517 to 2552, including those in Emerald Cove, Sharon Test Station, Military Wilderness Training Preserve, and the Highland Mountains. After her Spartan 2 program, Spartan 2 augmentation set procedures at the Ani Medical Facility station. Kelly was close to death. She was the slowest to recover from the operations, and many of her fellow Spartans were afraid that she would not make it. She did. And her already amazing speed was even further augmented. John 117 noted that she was almost untouchable. No one could touch her if she didn't want them to. Early career. Main article, Raid on the 3rd Fleet, of Glorious Consequence. It's a shame to leave this place. There are so few left. Kelly, after the Battle of Jericho 7, there will be other places to fight for. John 117. Will there? Kelly. In 25, Kelly participated in the Spartans' first mission in Darius 2. She, along with John, Fred, Sam, and Linda, boarded the Layden and infiltrated Darius Secundus. Then they captured Colonel Robert Waits, leader of the Darius rebels, and the below picture of Kelly in her Spartan armor. Kelly in her first Mark IV suit. Notice the rabbit emblem on her chest. In 27 November 25, she and the other remaining Spartans went to the Damascus testing facility in the Tri-City system to be fitted with their new Returner Mark IV armor. A few hours later, she witnessed the Covenant's might and lost her friend Sam during the Battle of Tri-City. In 25-26, Kelly, Sean, and the rest of the blue team were sent into the planet of Cenarius 4 after the initial Covenant attack on Corbula Academy of Military Science, which sparked the Battle of Cenarius 4. Searching for any survivors, Kelly and Frederick 104 facilitated John's extraction with the cadets via a commandered Pelican dropship. Kelly and Fred are the only ones to reveal their actual faces to the surviving cadets: Thomas Lasky, April Orneski, and Michael Sullivan. So when Michael Sullivan asks how old they are, Kelly answers, "That's classified." In 25-35, Kelly was present at Jericho 7. She was designated as Blue 2, and was on John's team during a mission to kill 1,000 Ungagi to avenge the 105th drop jet platoon. However, after 3 days of hard fighting, they were forced to retreat. They later watched the planet get glassed by the Covenant. Later in 25-44, Kelly also participated in an Ani-led operation, which required a squad of Spartans consisting of Solomon 069, Author 079, Fred 104, John 117, and herself, to infiltrate Covenant-controlled space via booster frames and recover a stolen package from the Covenant fleet. The Covenant fleet was temporarily unable to enable their slipspace drive due to a stellar magnetic field, providing the Spartans some time to retrieve the package before the Covenant fleet departed. During the course of the operation, Author 079 and Solomon 069 were killed by the Covenant. The surviving Spartans then infiltrated the Covenant flagship and got separated as they made their way to the package, which was revealed to be Dr. Catherine Halsey. The operation was successful, so the Spartans escorting the package back to the Ani stealth ship that deployed them. In 2552, Kelly was sent to Sigma Octavius IV. During the Battle of Sigma Octavius IV, she was designated as Blue 2, part of John's team, and carried a Havoc nuclear warhead to the Covenant-held city of Kota d'Azur through the city's sewer system. Successful, her team boarded a Pelican and docked with the UNSC Leviathan and returned to Reach. Reach. Main article, Fall of Reach. Johnny? Yep. Keep pushing, please. She was briefly aboard the UNSC Pillar of Autumn in preparation for the Spartans' mission to capture a Covenant prophet. Unfortunately, the Covenant found Reach first. During the fall of Reach, she was designated as Red 2. Magasai, part of Fred's team. Red Team. Their mission was to defend the generations for the orbital MAC guns as their Pelican Bravo 001 ascended to the surface of Reach. Thank you. Of Reach. It was shot down by plasma fire. The Spartans were then forced to jump from the crashing Pelican, which led to several Spartans being killed and more injured on impact. Kelly was apparently injured in this fall, though she made no indication of it. They eventually railed at ODG facility. They eventually rallied at ODG facility A331. After receiving a message from Vice Admiral Danforth Whitcomb, Fred assigned her to Team Alpha, along with himself and Joshua 029. They piloted Banshee flyers to a Covenant landing zone where she threw a Fury tactical nuke into the gravity lift of a Covenant vessel. Though they successfully destroyed the landing zone, Joshua was shot down and later marked as MIA, missing in action. They are marked as missing in action. She and Fred were then forced to retreat back to Team Delta's position after it appeared that all the Spartans of Team Beta were killed at the ODG facility. They were then forced to land contend with a pair of hunters and Commander Wrath tanks in order to get to Castle Base, where Team Delta was hidden. They met up with Vinna 030, Isaac 039, and William 043. The five Spartans were unable to enter the facility until Kelly thought to whisper "Oli, Oli, oxen free" into the speaker, which opened the door, and they learned that Dr. Halsey was in the facility. Kelly's injuries turned out to be life-threatening. She had a fever and low blood pressure due to moderate bleeding in her liver, and one of her lungs had completely collapsed. Dr. Halsey noted that it was amazing Kelly was still alive, let alone still fighting. Despite these two potentially fatal conditions, the Covenant attacked immediately, and Dr. Halsey was forced to activate Operation White Glove. In addition, she gave the Spartans new Moderna parts which were being field tested but had not yet been certified. Kelly received an improvement to her neuroinduction circuits, giving her a better twitch response time and a speed boost. The Spartans were then trapped beneath the base for several days until Fred found some Forerunner caves. The five Spartans and Dr. Halsey then discovered the Forerunner crystal artifact. It sent a spike of radiation that allowed the Covenant to triangulate on the Spartans' position, and a gravity lift immediately appeared. The group was forced to retreat, but Vinha and Isaac disappeared after their satchel charge exploded. Kelly, Fred, Will, and Dr. Halsey were then trapped in a cavern for several days until they were rescued by John 117, Aton 044, and Admiral Whitcomb. During the operation, though, Kelly was hit by the field rod gun of two hunters as she tried to protect Dr. Halsey. Once again, she was critically wounded, with burns on 72% of her body. She required democratic steroids to recover. Kelly was whisked aboard a Spirit and taken to the captured Ascendant Justice UNSC Gettysburg. It took some time for her to heal, and while she was sedated, Dr. Halsey brought her aboard the private vessel of the rebel Governor Jacob Giles in the Beatrice, a retired stealth ship, without anyone's knowledge or permission, which entered slipspace, heading for Onyx. And Onyx is the last one for Kelly. Onyx, main article, Battle of Onyx. Why are they so twitchy? Kelly expressing her skepticism of the Spartan 3's efficiency to Kurt. And they show a picture of Kelly in her Spartan armor. And below the picture says, Kelly 087 during the Battle of Onyx. On November 3rd, Halsey and Kelly eventually make it to Onyx, crashing the Kiro Spectator class stealth vessel. Bedris that they had commandeered to get there, while reuniting with her old teacher, SPO Skippo Mendez. And eventually, some of the remaining Spartan 2 and Spartan 3 soldiers, Kelly, as the fastest Spartan, was bait for the Onyx Sentinels. After the arrival of Will 07043, Linda 058, and Frederick 104, the Spartans went on the offensive and destroyed a Sentinel manufacturing facility. They then teleported to the core room. At this point, a Covenant army under the command of Fleet Master Vuro Nar Manta Cree arrived. The Spartans held off the army, but when Kelly killed a group of elites in close quarters in an attempt to buy them more time, a hunter pair took her by surprise. And Holly G003 and Will 043 were killed to save her. Kelly then retreated through a slipspace portal alongside Dr. Halsey, Fred, Linda, and the rest of the surviving Spartan 3s. Kurt stayed behind and detonated to Polaris nuclear warheads and stopped the massive Covenant army. Kelly was then trapped with her fellow Spartans in a micro Dyson sphere. They managed to exit the Dyson sphere when Lucy Beale A091 discovered engineers in the Forerunner structures. She tried to prevent Captain Seren Osmond and Kilo 5 from arresting Dr. Catherine Halsey, but stands down. And that is it for Kelly. And they have a ton of pictures of her as well. The first picture says Kelly 087 during the Battle of Sardarius 4. Concept art of Kelly from the package. Kelly 087 reaching out to John 117 to pull them towards a Covenant carrier. Kelly 087 in the operation to rescue the package. Kelly 087 flying her booster frame. Kelly on a booster frame's turret. Kelly on her Moderna Mark IV armor. Kelly on the package. Kelly's HUD. Kelly on Mark IV EVA armor carrying a shotgun. Kelly as she appears before she had Moderna armor. This is from the Halo Nation on the website Wikia. Is where I got this information from. Kelly as she appears in the Halo Legends episode The Package. Kelly using her speed to dodge the bullets. Kelly kicking a soldier. Frederick, Kelly, and Linda shortly before the chief approaches them. Kelly and her motor-powered assault armor / Hermes. That's it for that lady. I've already discussed information on Jameson and Buck already on my previous videos of this discussion series. I've been doing this for an hour now. And, Lieutenant Junior Grade Frederick 104, Ward Frederick Ellsworth, is a Spartan 2 commando and is one of the few surviving Spartan 2s. Historically, Frederick 104 has held the highest rank among any of the active Spartan 2s except for Kurt 051. He has been known to become greatly affected by his injured teammates. He has also had a close working relationship with John 117. During the final 3 months of the Human Covenant War, Fred was active in the Forerunner Shield World installation at the core of the former planet Onyx. He was retrieved by Kilo 5 in February 2523, along with fellow Spartans Kelly 087 and Linda 058, and the Spartan 3 petty officers Tom, Lucy, and Team Saber. Spartan Tag 104, Stronghold The Last, birth date April 3rd, 2511, voiced by Tony Gorix, Halo 4 FUD, Travis Willingham, Halo 5, physical information, gender, male, height 216.3 centimeters, 7 feet, 1.2 inch, mass 285.7 pounds, 129.6 kg, kilograms. Hair color black, brown as depicted in Halo Legends. Affiliation and military information. UNSC Navy, rank Lieutenant, Junior Grade, specialty, combat knives, second in command, overall balance and skills next to John 117. Battles, over 120 campaigns, Battle of Scenarios 4, Battle of Jericho 7, Battle of Sigma Sanctanius 4, Fall of Reach Operation, First Strike, Battle of Earth, Battle of Onyx, Class 1, 25. Personality, Fred has displayed many similarities, both physical and mental, with John 117. He is an exceptional leader and a quick thinker. John remarked, however, that Fred sometimes takes the responsibility of his command too seriously, emphasizing too deeply within any wounded member of his team. He, like many other Spartans, was an introvert and didn't like to be called by his full name. He never really began to stand out among the Spartans until the death of Samuel 034. As of 2582, he had fought in more than 120 military campaigns. He was the second best Spartan 2 sniper and best spotter, just below Linda 058's skills. In fact, John once said that Fred came in second place in all of the contests the Spartan 2s had as children. John thought he could have come out on top, but didn't like the attention. He was well known for his abilities with the combat knife. Fred had black hair, which was shot with streaks of silver after his augmentation, and was not too short or tall. A little shorter than John 117, and neither too muscular nor too slim. In fact, it was commented by John 117 that if any Spartan had to blend into a crowd, it would be Fred. As with all Spartans, he is unnaturally pale because he rarely, if he ever is exposed to sunlight. Biography, early childhood. Frederick Ellsworth was born on April 3rd, 2511, on the inner colony of Belfast. He was abducted from his home in 2517 at age 6 after he was observed by Dr. Catherine Halsey and marked as a possible exceptional soldier. He was trained with the other Spartans at Reach by Deja and Chief Petty Officer Mendez. It was never mentioned until the Spartans' mission to the military wilderness training reserve. During his training, Frederick quickly proved himself to be considered one of the program's top candidates. Both Dr. Halsey and Chief Mendez identified him as one of our 4 emerging leaders within the Spartan 2 program, along with Kurt 051, Jeremy 092, and John 117. It shows a picture of classified with Frederick and Spartan armor. Below the picture says classified footage of Fred 104 in battle. Early career. Fred was part of the Spartans' first mission to Nereus Secundus to abduct Colonel Robert Waits at 2525. After the Battle of Side City, Fred, with John and a group of Marines, would fight alongside a group of insurgentists against the new Covenant threat. Battle of Cidaris 4. It's main article, Battle of Cidaris 4. Day 25-26, Fred, Sean Kelly 0-87, and the rest of the blue team were sent to the planet of Cidaris 4 after an initial Covenant attack on Corporal Academy of Military Science, which sparked the battle sparked a battle that killed almost all the planet's inhabitants. Blue team was searching for any survivors. Kelly and Fred facilitated John's extraction with the cadets via a commandered Pelican dropship. Fred and Kelly are the only two Spartans who revealed their faces to the surviving cadets, including April Ordeski, Michael Sullivan, and Thomas Lasky. It is probable that he was present at Jericho 7 in 45-35, but he was never mentioned by name during the engagement. He was also a part of the Battle of Sigma Octavius 4 in 25-52, designated Blue 3 and part of John's team that destroyed the Covenant forces at Cody Tazar. Raid of the 3rd Fleet of Glorious Consequence. Here's a picture of him, Fred again. It's Fred 104 in combat in his Mojoner 4 armor. Raid of the 3rd Fleet of Glorious Consequence. Main article, Raid of the 3rd Fleet of Glorious Consequence. In 25-44, Fred also participated in an Ani-led operation which required a squad of Spartans consisting of Solomon 069, Arthur 079, Kelly 087, Sean 117, and himself to infiltrate Covenant controlled space via booster frames and recover a stolen package from a Covenant fleet. The Covenant fleet was temporarily unable to enable their subspace drive due to a stellar magnetic field, providing the Spartans some time to retrieve the package before the Covenant fleet departs. During the course of the operation, Arthur 079 and Solomon 069 were killed by the Covenant. The surviving Spartans then infiltrated the Covenant flagship and got separated as they made their way to the package, which was revealed to be Dr. Catherine Halsey. The operation was successful, with the Spartans escorting the package back to the Ani stealth ship that deployed them. Fall of Reach. Main article, Fall of Reach. Fred was on the UNSC Pillar of Autumn briefly while it was above Reach, but when the Fall of Reach began, Fred was designated Red 1, leader of the Spartans sent to land on the ground and protect the power generators for the orbital MAC stations. As his Pelican Bravo 001 descended to the surface of the planet, it was attacked by Seraphs and dove uncontrollably towards the ground. He ordered his Spartans to jump from the single ship. 4 of them died in the process, but if they had not jumped, they would have all died as Bravo 001 exploded. When the group met up again, they went to ODG facility A331, where they met was left of the nearly destroyed Charlie company. They retrieved a distress call from Vice Admiral Danforth Whitcomb. Fred then divided his Spartans into 4 teams: himself, Kelly 087, and Joshua 029. Team Alpha went to destroy a nearby Covenant landing zone, while Team Gamma, led by Anton 044, with 2 other Spartans, would rescue Admiral Whitcomb. The third team, Team Delta, led by William 043 and consisting of the wounded Spartans, would secure a fallback position at Castle Base. And the fourth team, Team Beta, consisting of the rest of the Spartans, would defend the OGG facility. Fred team successfully destroyed the landing zone using Banshees and Fury tactical nukes. However, Joshua was killed, and the team of the ODG facility appeared to be wiped out by a Covenant plasma bombardment. Fred barely thought that he would rather trade 10,000 Covenant lives for that of Joshua's. Fred and Kelly then retreated to the fallback position, which was surrounded by the Covenant. They were forced to commander Wraith tanks, but they successfully ended up at Team Delta's position thanks to jackhammer support from Team Delta. They were then able to enter the base by whistling Ole Ole Oxen Free into the speakers. It turned out that Dr. Halsey was still in the facility. Fred had suffered a torn Achilles tendon, 3 cracked ribs, and moderate contusions in both kidneys. While making his way towards Castle Base for a Spartan, these injuries were nothing, so she sent him and William 043 on a supply run. The Spartans received upgrades to their Mojoner armor and new weapons, including HE magnums and battle rifles. Under attack from the Covenant, the 5 Spartans and Dr. Halsey were forced to destroy Castle Base with Operation White Glove. They found themselves trapped underground in the old mining caverns beneath the base for several days until they came across a Forerunner installation, where they discovered the Forerunner Castle crystal artifact. The artifact created a spike in radiation that allowed the Covenant to triangulate their position. They were immediately besieged by a gravity lift, sending groups of jackals, elites, and grunts to their location in the underground base. They then ran into a cavern and blew up the entrance. The cavern was a dead end, and for 2 days, Fred, Kelly, Will, and Dr. Halsey were trapped in the cavern as the Covenant tried to dig them out. Operation First Strike. Main article, Operation First Strike. Fred, Kelly, Will, and Dr. Halsey were rescued when John 117, Aton 044, and Admiral Whitcomb found them in old titanium mines after finding a Forerunner crystal and took them away. So they captured Ascendant Justice. Fred's injuries were finally treated aboard the UNSC Gettysburg, which had been fused to the Ascendant Justice. He then took part in an extraterrestrial mission to repair a plasma conduit on the ship, holding his own against camouflaged elites, as well as the dangerous rampant plasma bolts floating around the slip space bubble the ships were trapped in. Fred then accompanied John into Nereus Secundus a second time when Admiral Smookham and Dr. Halsey demanded repairs from the Endurous rebels under the leadership of Governor Jacob Lyles. Fred then manned a station of the Gettysburg when Covenant cruisers appeared in the system. Fred then took part in Operation First Strike, along with John 117, Will 043, Linda 058, and Grace 093. He boarded the unyielding Hierophant with the Spartans and their copy of Cortana, then followed John to the reactors and covered their exit. During the mission, Fred became the first known human to kill a brute with his bare hands. Fred then escaped with John, Will, and Linda. Grace was killed by Gerhani using brute shots to the Gettysburg, where they, together with Cortana and Sergeant Johnson, finally returned to Earth in order to forestall the invasion of Earth. Vice Admiral Danforth Whitcomb and Lieutenant Elias Armisen lured the Covenant fleet close to the station with a holographic image of a Forerunner relic. The detonation caught almost the entire fleet in the explosion, with all but 12 ships being destroyed in the blast. Battle of Onyx. Main article, Battle of Onyx. During the Battle of Earth, Fred 104, Linda 058, and Will 043 were sent to defend Earth for 2 weeks shortly after UNSC and Amber Clad's journey to Installation 05. The missions given were around the globe, including the Antarctic area, the Yucatan Peninsula, and Cuba. Shortly after the last operation in Cuba, Fred was given a transmission from Lord Hood to have his team travel to Onyx to aid Dr. Halsey. He led his team to hijack a Covenant destroyer and destroyed another one with furnace warheads. After narrowly escaping fire from Covenant and Sentinel forces, Fred eventually met up with Kurt 051 with the long lost friend assuming command of the mission. Shortly before his demise, Kurt 051 gave Fred the rank of lieutenant, junior grade, and gave him command of the rest of the Onyx operation, along with Kelly 087, Spectator 058, and Spartan 3 members, Ash, Olivia G291, Mark G3113, Tom B292, and Lucy. The newly strengthened Blue Team was trapped in their Forerunner shield world that was Onyx core. For nearly 5 days, Blue Team, Dr. Halsey and CPO Mendez reckoned the shield world, which Dr. Halsey determined to be a micro Dyson sphere whose diameter was equivalent to a use that's my vent beeping there, guys and girls. They survived on local wildlife and fauna while searching for a way outside the sphere. You'll see B091 was separated from the team on the first day, leading to Fred having to keep a close eye on the arguments between CPO Mendez and Dr. Halsey. Eventually, Lucy returned after finding a local Breakout crew. She maintained a Forerunner shipyard and a normal space surveillance system. Lucy was able to convince Prone to drift to set up a comm line to Bravo 6 on Earth. They were answered by Admiral Kronkowski, who informed that the war had ended and that 3 months had passed since they went AWOL. With Prokowski's acknowledgement, the Shield World was named ONSC Research Station Trevelyan in honor of Kurt 051. They were retrieved by Kilio 5 on Ani Special Tasks Group in February 4553 and were taken to Earth, except Dr. Halsey. It was interrogated and imprisoned aboard the UNSC Ivanov Research Station, orbiting Installation 03. Installation 03. On July 26, 2557, Fred, Kelly, and Linda and John all reunited for a mission to investigate the disappearance of a science team and Spartan Team Black on Installation 03. When they arrived, they found all of them killed. The original site of the composer and the composer's abyss. That was a pretty long article. That was a pretty long read for me, guys and girls. And their first picture says, below, Fred in the operation to rescue the package. Next plan is Fred 104 without his helmet, and forward onto Dawn. And the next plan said Fred 104 as he appeared in Halo Legends. Fred holding a pair of combat knives. Fred carrying the Spartan laser. Fred's HUD. Fred about to stab an elite. Fred unsheathing one of his knives. Fred's Moderna Mark V armor. Frederick 104 in Moderna Mark IV. Frederick along with Kelly and John during the Battle of Cernarius. Frederick, Kelly, and Linda shortly before the Chief approaches team. Frederick 104 portrayed in his Centurion armor on the cover of Halo Last Light. that's it for now, guys and girls. Please rate, comment, like, favorite, subscribe, view, thoughts, and opinions. And I hope you liked it and enjoyed it for your viewing pleasure, guys and girls. And as always, I'm a Halo fan. And that's it for me for now. I'll resume tomorrow. And, alright, okay, bye. Please drink some hot chocolate. And I'll see you all later. Bye.